We live in a world of the internet with endless technology, computers, cell phones, email, social media, and frankly, it never ends. And after a while, it becomes extremely overwhelming.
Yeah, what can happen is we can never have time to ourselves to renew, time for self-reflection, time to nourish ourselves. You know, I've heard so many of our clients and students will say they wake up and the first thing they do is they check their phone, and you're immediately drawn into someone else's agenda, typically email, messages from people wanting you to do something or asking you about something. But where's the time for the self?
So we've decided to pull the plug from cell phones, computers, business, and all this stuff, and get away from our house and go on a trip into the beauty and the wonders of nature. We're not sure what we're going to experience when we get away from all this stuff and stop checking all our messages, but you are going to find out. We begin our journey from Sedona. Next, we travel up to the remarkable Grand Canyon for one night. Then we're off to Monument Valley, a magical place deep in the desert. Next, we'll travel to the breathtaking desert canyons of Moab, where we'll find a hidden camp spot in the mountains. And if we have time, we'll stop by the famous ski resort of Telluride for a couple of nights to get ready for our return. The hardest part of getting away is actually just leaving the house. The amount of things that have to be done before you can leave is almost ridiculous. But here we are, we've managed to get out of the house and we're on our way up to the Grand Canyon to spend a night taking in the views and getting ready for the rest of our trip. Here we are at the campsite. We're just going to put up our tent and then go for a walk along the rim of the Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon is one of the 7 wonders of the world, and it really is a wonder. But I wonder how many people here actually see it, because when we spend so much time looking at our screens and taking pictures, are we really there? So we wanted to see if we could see it. Can I see it? Can you see it? Are we really present with what is in our lives? Today, we're off to the famous Monument Valley, a magical place deep in the desert. Monument Valley is a tribal land. It's barren. It makes us roar and face ourselves because there's no escape from ourselves. Monument Valley for us has been a place to face what is unresolved and clear it away to bring in the light. Many blessings. So here we are in Monument Valley, beautiful place in Arizona. We're on a mission to find a camp space, somewhere where we can just spend the evening looking at the stars and seeing the things that we've ignored for months and months by being on our phones and running around. It's going to be an interesting night. Spent our first night here, woke up feeling oozy, nauseous, nightmares. I think when we get away we face ourselves, face our stuff. It's not always pleasant. Things need to be worked on, we have to change.
It was a very strange night. I think it was a full moon. It was completely bright. And I remember I just didn't feel safe there either. I did not have a good night's sleep at all.
One of the things that we have to remember is that our negativity, the dark side within us, comes along with us, right? So if I have any madness in my mind, negativity, anger, greed, whatever it is inside of me, that part of me, when I pack my bags to go away somewhere, that negative part of me packs its bags as well and comes along, right? And then when we get to our destination, we open up our bags and out comes all of our own negative thoughts and our usual madness. Right? And this is something that a lot of people don't realize. They think that when you go traveling or when you run away from yourself, that part of you is just somehow going to disappear. But it doesn't. And in fact, when you go on vacations, a lot of this negative stuff comes up to the surface even more than before, because when you stop distracting yourself, it all comes up. We've left Monument Valley and are headed to find the perfect camping spot to slow down and relax and go deep, finding a place we love.
Now, first you have to be the soul. Now, how do you do that? You have to become a very tiny, golden, glowing being.
So here we are, day 3. It's just epic. So frankly, it's been a tad stressful getting to where we are now. I think it's going to be worth it. We've got a wonderful spot. Going to get some hammocks. Got our nice tent. So here we are, day number, 3, 4? Day number 4, look at that, it's been quite a mission. Last night I was wondering whether it was worth bothering with all this stuff, but today, in fact, when you find a beautiful spot, a lot of clarity comes through. And what I've personally realized today is that I've been spending way too much time focused on basically distracting myself from what's actually important. And so coming back to that beautiful feeling, that awareness and that state of consciousness. The main thing is experiencing a state of bliss and peace and pure love. That's got to be the main thing. And what it seems to require is actually a large amount of focus. A large amount of focus, a large amount of practice over a long period of time. So that's what I've experienced recently. Alright, we want to say something?
Well, listening to Michael and just sitting here, and there's this beautiful view. And I think it comes down to never to get discouraged or disheartened when we find ourselves overwhelmed or distracted or craving distraction, but to come back to the awareness that I am a pure soul, and not to let all of the other little things become more important.
So it's the 5th morning, I think. 5th. I have to say my joy for life has returned. I feel remarkably better than I have in a long time. The second night in Monument Valley, I felt like I was a terrible monster, horrible person, hated myself, had a really dark night of the soul. And now I feel my joy has returned, my good feelings have returned, everything is easy and graceful. I feel so much good vibrations, just natural good feelings. So it really goes to show, being plugged in all the time to the internet and to all these things actually takes a huge toll, and having time away to focus on what's actually important. Yes. So it's the little things that make the biggest difference, and we don't seem to see those little things when we're caught up in the rat race. So here we are on day 6. Seems like as the days go by, feel more relaxed, more at peace, more self-appreciation, self-love, good vibes, realizing how toxic and pointless a lot of what I do actually is. And also I think what I learned today again and again is how when I'm not sane, when I'm not actually aware that I'm a spiritual being and I come from the world of light, and I'm not aware of that, basically what's going on is I'm coming from a lower place, which is essentially madness, and so everything I do is basically coming from madness. It's very humbling to realize that. It's our little spot.
Hello.
Anything you want to say?
I just want to know if you guys can see this beautiful light in the camera. Yeah, it's been a very lovely day out in nature, and I think we need it. We're still in the middle of our discovery of, this truth of being in the world but not of it, and taking the space we need but being engaged. So we're definitely still in the experimental discovery phases, but it's definitely very nourishing to just be very close to nature and unplugged, slower pace. relaxed with reality rather than an imaginary world, which some of can exist online or in our heads. So it's nice to just be in reality and having remembrance.
Alright, well it's morning time, it's time for our morning tea. This is how we make our tea. I've got one of these sumo jet boil things that you just fill up. And then here is our setup: water, tea, it's all for tea, trash, tea stuff, cooking things, and food in there. It's pretty basic. And then we have over here we have lots of crackers and then more tasty goodies in here. So lots of tasty goodies. Looks like it might rain today. Yeah, you can probably see the rain a bit better now. Dark skies. So far, I just feel just more aware that I'm actually a spiritual being on this planet, and not so caught up in all the, I don't even know what it is, so many weird things that we get caught up in that seem to be important when you're in them. But when you get out of them, it's like, what on earth is that all about? Why am I doing that? What's the point of it? So a lot of that kind of weird stuff is becoming apparent. Well, it's the final day. We'll be going back today. It's been quite a refreshing trip. It's been a bit challenging in some ways, being out all the time, not having a house. Basically, we need a comfortable place to live.
Yeah, I did too many things in the heat with no food for about 4 hours.
Living rugged doesn't really do the trick, and we need a nice house. Not quite sure I'm ready to camp full time. Well, we're all packed up. It's been an opportunity for funny hats and renunciation of all things that are not supportive of our highest good. It's been a great trip. Still got a long way to go back. It's an 8-hour drive back, and we were so tired and needed a shower and a rest. So we decided to go to Telluride and get a hotel and just relax and enjoy the beautiful views of the mountains and reflect on what we've learned. One of the things I've learned is just getting away from the world, getting away from the influence of the crazy modern world we live in, and coming into nature is very healing. Makes me realise how much time is wasted on entertainment, on shopping, on just internet stuff, on just basically consumerism and pointless nonsense. So I think one of the biggest things is going back. The intention is to do away with the cell phone, wipe the cell phone, wipe all the apps, clean it all up, block the internet except for essential websites like our own websites, get rid of email, and just basically cut it all out. Spend more time in nature, spend more time meditating, reading, studying, and just have a much better life. we're still figuring it out, how to manage being in this world, get things done from a high place, not from a stressed out place, actually genuinely be of service, whatever that even means, and to feel good and help others and have a beautiful life. Not an easy thing to do, but a worthy mission. Six months has passed since we left our camping trip, and it's snowing. Don't normally get any snow. Quite frankly, I wasn't able to maintain the ability to stay away from the internet and cell phones. But then something happened. "7:15 in the morning, January the 1st. Here we are, sitting by the fireplace.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. And as one of the things I'm doing for New Year, I've decided to get rid of the internet. Stop using the internet, possibly for a year. And I realise that sounds a bit ridiculous, a bit extreme in our current society. But I've realised that using the internet, while we have an online business, the internet has also been extremely distracting on a number of levels because of social media, email, video, YouTube, watching the news, and just having something distracting me from what I'm doing. Like, oh, I just check that, online banking, and all these endless things are online. Luckily, I have Ariel in my life. What an angel. And we work together, and she has agreed to manage my inbox, manage my emails, and take care of all the business related online stuff. So I can focus on creating content, creating videos, creating audios, writing books, reading books, going on walks, making cappuccinos and espressos, and other fun things, traveling and all the rest of it. So it's gonna be hard, actually. Well, I mean, I don't want it to be hard. I'd like it to be easy, but I'm aware that I have an addiction on some level to distraction, and I've written about this, and I've tried it before and failed miserably. So this is probably my third attempt. And so the pull to watch a YouTube video or find out what's going on in the news, check my email, check things on social media, that pull to find out what's going on or watch a film or whatever it is a real thing. And I'm going to have to replace all of those things with something else. Luckily, I have a great life. I can do what I want. We live in a beautiful place. And I can go on walks. I've got loads of records I can listen to. I've got loads of books I can read, so it's actually not going to be that bad. But I'll let you know how it goes. And I just want to give special blessings to this lovely soul here for helping me out, and to you, because if you're inspired to do this sometime, maybe you want to start with me, then we can experience this together. And my intention for these videos is just to share my experience humbly and honestly, and to give some tips that I learn along the way. So if you want to break free from the internet and the cell phones, I haven't got a cell phone either, by the way, then I will let you know how it goes. Thanks for your wonderful presence, and many blessings.
Many blessings.
Many blessings. It's snowing in Sedona.